And what's the path look like to this point, and kind of where you're headed in the future?
Yeah. With bodybuilding specifically, when I first started, I'm not really sure what my goal was, to be honest. Like I said, I kind of wanted to powerlift. I had been training to be a powerlifter for probably a year or two before I started bodybuilding, and then had some injuries. And after that, I wanted to do something where I could still be competitive and I could still give my all to something while still enjoying what I was doing. I always said I'd never be a bodybuilder. Here we are. Because of the food, actually. It was funny you were talking about the food. I always said it was because of the food. I'd never be a bodybuilder. I just wanted to eat. I just wanted to lift heavy, right?
The joys of life.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was a big thing for me, was at the start, the food, the learning, the diet, the consistency in that aspect. Because I'd go to the gym all day, every day. That wasn't a problem for me. It was dialing in all the little details that I didn't know, didn't realize at the time mattered. Your water, your sleep, your food, all the extra, your steps, all the check marks, all the things you got to check off for the day. And I think that was really big at the beginning, like getting into it, is I know some of us get almost overly hyperfixated on the things we have to do for the day, the check boxes, okay, I need to do these things. And sometimes we forget to live a little bit, right? But to be honest, that kind of structure has really been helpful just in everyday life, because it's not one of those things where you think, oh, am I going to go to the gym today? Oh, am I going to hit my macros for the day? It's, okay, I have this to do. How am I going to do it? And again, that's something that kind of translates anywhere. Instead of, oh, am I going to do this today? Not giving yourself the option. I have this goal. I'm going to do it. How am I going to do it? Mm-hmm. And that's been really big. Career, bodybuilding, life, anything. Don't give yourself the option. I don't give myself the option. I'm like, I'm going to do this. There is no doubt in my mind. This is what I'm going to do. How am I going to make it happen? Mm-hmm. And that mindset shift, when I first started bodybuilding, it took a little while to build that. Because again, it's very habit-based and kind of neuroscience in a way. The more you do something, the more you see the same result from being consistent, from doing the same things every day. The more it builds that little microdoses of dopamine. Oh, got that little win there. Yeah. Oh, saw that new vein there. Oh, new law on the scale. Like, you get those little, like I said, almost microdoses of dopamine. You're like, this is kind of cool. I can see some changes. Oh, I'm a little stronger. My food got upped. Might look a little fluffier in the mirror, but I just hit 3 plates on a hack squat. Like, the little wins, you start to appreciate all the little wins from the little details and from hitting your markers for the day. Mm-hmm. And I feel like in the sport, it's a very simple sport. And I feel like we overcomplicate everything in life. And it's kind of taught me, okay, bring it back down to the basics. Do the basics, do them well, do them consistently. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah, you know what I love about that, and something I don't think we've really discussed before. You have this very, very powerful mindset of asking the question how as opposed to the question if. Mm-hmm. And when I think about that, because the number one excuse that people give is, I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard that before. That's the number one excuse. And when I realize that perspective you have of how, not if, mm-hmm. I think, how much time do we waste on an average day negotiating with ourselves mm-hmm. and asking those if questions?
Yes.
I bet it's far more than any of us would realize. I bet it's hours a day.
Yeah.
We spend literally deciding if, not how. So when you remove that if from the equation, when you just decide and then you reinforce that decision like you talked about, of constantly reinforcing those neurologic pathways
Mm-hmm.
of this is who I am, this is what I do, really developing that identity
Yeah.
and becoming more deeply entrenched with that story you tell yourself about yourself. You have to buy back so much time simply just not deciding if you're going to do something, just having yourself already committed to knowing you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And then the only question you have to figure out is how, which honestly I imagine is probably a much easier question to answer than if, especially when the if is already solved for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. Were there specific, you talk about those little micro wins, was there anything else along the way that really helped you make that perspective shift from the if to the how?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know if there was any like one instance of like any huge like life altering event. I can't think of anything like that. It's really just been a slow, gradual build, if that makes sense. We always talk about the progress is slow in bodybuilding and strength training and everything. You can't expect everything overnight. So every day you do it a little bit better, that 1% better every day. I feel like that's kind of how that's built for me as well, because we all have doubts, right? We all have anxieties, we all have stresses. And I think each day you choose to do these things, it just builds a little bit more and a little bit more on that mindset shift and that change from the if to the how. Because there have been plenty of days that I've been like, I'm not feeling it. My body hurts. My shoulder's bothering me, right? But it's one of those things. Another like thing I think and tell myself all the time is, how many times have I just not done it before? How many times have I just like not showed up and not done it? How many times have I regretted actually showing up? Never, right?
Yeah.
I always show up for myself. So I ask myself, I'm like, okay, when's the last time I just didn't go to the gym? I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I couldn't tell you the last time I've just decided, I don't want to go today and didn't go. Probably years. And I think that right there, the fact that over those years, even when I didn't want to do it, I went every day. Every day I was supposed to go, right? We have rest days. But every day I was programmed to go. I'd go. You build it over time. You were talking about the story you tell yourself. Who am I if I don't keep the promises that I made to myself? Who am I to tell anybody else anything, really? If I can't keep the promises to myself, how is somebody going to trust me for the promises I keep to them? So I don't think there was one thing really that made that mindset shift from the if to the how. It more so over time has just built kind of organically through what I've been doing and what I love doing.
Yeah.
So